Hello and welcome back to the channel. I've got a different kind of video today, taking a little look back at the pen that started it all. This simple waterman right here took me down a 14-year journey and put me into a hobby that I never would have guessed. So let's take a look at it, how this got started and where it's going to end up. So my fountain pen journey has been a kind of unique one. Back in 2013, I just decided to start keeping a journal, something I'd never really done. I didn't, that wasn't my thing. But some people suggested it, I gave it a shot. So after I started with a free notebook I got from work with a vendor, I think it's some sort of computer company, started writing in it with like a Pilot G2 or something like that. I always liked pens, but I'd never had a nice pen. Well, I was looking around the house and I found this pen in a drawer. At first, thought it was a rollerball. But then pulling off the cap and I see, oh, it's a fountain pen. That's really cool. No idea where it came from, how it got to me, but I was thinking I should use this to write. That'll make my writing more legitimate in a journal. So I started looking in to see how to make that possible. So after I looked up the pen online, found it was a Waterman Executive from the 90s, and once again, no idea how it ended up in the drawer, but here we are. So I didn't really know anything about fountain pens. I just knew it had an empty cartridge in it and it wouldn't write. So I looked around and found a box of cartridges, ordered them, they showed up, and I put one in, and it took a little bit, but then I started writing. And I looked back in the journal that I was keeping at the time, and I found where I wrote about, hey, I found this pen. So it lapsed a little bit of time later, I did what you do. You post a picture on Facebook, which at the time was not full of advertisements and all that kind of stuff, and lo and behold, who saw that post but my college roommate and his wife, who both had become fountain pen collectors in the time since we left school. And this was probably 10 years post-graduation. So I started messaging back and forth with them, and then the next thing I know, that December, this was all in like November-ish, I went to Memphis to visit, and the next day we went to Little Rock to go to Venice for the first time. So I left Venice with my Sailor 1911 Black Luster, a bottle of Ackerman Shocking Blue, and that kind of started me down a path of wanting to have more pens, more inks, and all the kind of accessories that go with the hobby. All from finding this pen in a drawer. Now, over time, my preferences of pens have changed. This is a really small body pen, and I prefer a larger pen now. Something like a Sailor 1911 or a Pilot 823 or the Opus 88 demonstrators. But this is a pen that I will always keep in the collection because it kind of got me started. When I was thinking about making this video, I pulled the pen out, pulled out my same original box of cartridges, and in the last 14 years, they've all dried up. So I actually filled one up with a syringe to be able to do some writing with this pen for the video. But that really goes to show, you might have pens in your collection that you don't use often, but when you use them, it kind of brings back memories or circumstances that, you might have forgotten about. So how did your pen journey start? Do you still have the first pen you have? Is it one that you bought a cheap one and you sold it off, or you lost it and you started over again? Drop a comment below and let me know, how did your pen journey start? It's always interesting to hear because, are you in the same boat as me? Did you find a pen in a drawer? Or did you have a pen friend give you a pen to get you started, or at least point you in the right direction? I'd love to know. So the pen journey started in a kind of an odd way, but I'm glad it did. It let me reconnect with friends, and I've made tons of new friends all around the country, some virtual and some in person, just due to the appreciation of a nice pen, a nice piece of paper, and the opportunity to put thoughts down on paper. So in looking back at this, simple Waterman Executive pen that I found in a drawer, it really was a gateway to a journey of self-expression and creativity. So thanks for following me on this nostalgic trip down memory lane. I hope this story helps you think of how you got into the hobby, or if you're not yet in the hobby, might give you an idea on how to get started. Don't hesitate, go find a pen. There's plenty of places out there. You can get them online, you can get them in stores, but take a chance. You have to start somewhere. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me how you started this journey or if you're getting into it. If you have questions, leave them below and I'll answer the best I can, or I might be able to direct you to some other channels or resources to help you get pointed in the right direction. Thanks for watching.